it's so bloody heavy.
What's
my
your...
wife was saying, you're not going to carry that thing around. I said, oh, all right.
It's New York. You don't like all that.
There you are, yeah.
What's your first Batman experience? Like, what made you go, yeah, I want to do that when they offered you the part because of that experience?
It was before you were born.
Was it Adam West days?
Adam West days. I did a show in New York here on 53rd Street for ABC as a pop show, not a pop show, but it's called Dark Shadows. And right before that, Batman had come on too. And of that same period, Star Trek was coming around. So I had become sort of watching Batman to see what they were going to, what this was. And then in the 80s, now I'm living in California, and I'm doing another series. And this Frank Miller came along while I was doing the series, and he starts doing this Dark Knight and all of this. And at first I didn't, you hear about it's going to do it. And then I read a couple, and I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on here? But at first I said, well, this is not something my boy, I don't know, this is adult, this is me, but it's too old. Well, so flip to whenever this project started a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now, but it takes a long time to animate. So I said, Andrea called me about doing Dark Knight. And I said, where do I show up? And I'm not thinking. But I called my son. Now he's older now. And he's got a little baby of his own, a little boy. And I said, I'm going to do Dark Knight Returns. I can hear this pause. And this is honest to God, true story. I said, yeah. He said, what part? I said, the commissioner. You're doing Gordon? I said, yeah. I couldn't have done anything more for him than to be in. And he said to me, and I told him, he said, Dad, you know the comics that you've been holding for me? Because in my basement are all his comics. He said, go through them. He said, now there'll be a couple in the original plastic. He said, but most of my things are out. Go through them. There they were.
Pleasure to meet you.
So it just meant the world. I mean, and when I just came from San Diego. I was working in San Diego. The crew, they said, because Comic-Con was going on while I was working in San Diego. And the crew said, okay, you're going to do Comic-Con. I said, no, but Warner Brothers, we've done this animated thing. And they said, what? I said, yeah, we did the Dark Knight Returns. Ken, this reaction. That whole week, they started bringing me books. This is the crew. A little girl, she worked on our show. She was 17. She's going to be she's going to be a senior in college, so she must be 21. This girl, goes to San Diego State, started bringing me all of this stuff from her family. So all the guys, these are all contemporaries of you all. He brought me all of these things to sign. I was caught off guard about how fan-driven these shows are. The Batman had been. You tend to keep these to yourself because they meant something else to you. And I told Gary a long time ago, it all started for me when I was a kid at the place called the Richwood, and he even Googled it, and it's there, called the Richwood Confectionery. And that's where we could go read comics. And that's where I first came into touch with all of these, And then gradually they let you, by the time I was in high school, a senior in high school, and he even Googled the owners of this place in this little town where I grew up in West Virginia. And they would let you graduate from the comics, including Superman, have you seen the Avengers?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Of course. Oh my God. I couldn't believe. I was so delighted with it. Weren't you? Did you see The Avengers? Wasn't it great? I thought, oh my God. Okay. So anyway, Richwood Confectionery. Jeff, tell them about Richwood Confectionery. Didn't you Google them? So we graduated from comics, Superman, and when we were finally juniors and seniors in high school, that's just where I grew up, because it was in my neighborhood. We could graduate to the Golden Nugget Girls and Sexology, but it wasn't until then that her name was Hortense, honest to God truth, would let us read, would let us graduate to the other side. It was a place called Beer on Tap. Tom Torch owned it. Tom was this wide, sat on his stool, and played checkers. Anyone who came in, and that's what he did all day, into about 8 o'clock at night when he would go home. Anyway, it's great to be a part of this.
What was it like playing such an iconic character like
Gordon?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to anyone because I'd already seen.
Right.
I thought Goldman was in the film. He was good. And I thought, I didn't even ask who's not available when they called. Because I thought, okay. But I liked Gordon. I liked the Frank Miller thing, the friendship that they developed with Wayne. I liked his I think Gordon, in the end, is one of the most honest commissioner politicians to come down the road ever in that kind of
Thank you so much.
He epitomizes what it is to be a good cop.
Thanks, man.